Right, hello viewers, welcome to the channel again. This is Stories with Sash, and after the huge success that was our first podcast featuring my friend and housemate Matthew Groom. You can follow him on some social media platforms, except he doesn't really use them. That's not really his style. So today we're going to be talking about, well, what are we going to be talking about, Matt? Because this is something that's this is actually Matt's idea, related to cars again. What is it?
So, everyone knows about private number plates. Everyone has probably at some point over the last couple of years, especially when you knew you were about to learn how to drive, seen how much the private number plate that you specifically want is, right? And obviously they vary in price from 250 all the way up to, I don't know, I saw one that I wanted for about £20,000 last week. So, but there's a problem I'm finding when I drive around, and people don't really get the point of private number plates.
I don't.
But I don't understand. Okay, so private number plates, right? For me personally, they're either meant to be funny, or they're meant to be personal to you, right? Now I'm going to go through some examples of what are not good number plates, what are excellent number plates, and what number plates I would look at and laugh, right? Which I probably would get a funnier one myself rather than a personal one, because I mean, it would be funny watching other people laugh at my number plate. Have you ever thought about getting a private number plate?
No, not really. I mean, I just think in my personal opinion, I've never been a fan of private number plates, and I think that if you do get one, it does sort of explain a little bit about you. I think if you've got a private number plate, I think I don't know, I think a lot of the people that I've come across, not that I've known personally, but you look at them, and you never should judge a book by its cover, but you look at them and you think, yeah, you're a bit of a cock. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's true. But we're going to discuss exactly what's wrong with some number plates and what's good. I think the reason I would get a number plate is only for one particular point, and that is if you buy an older car, right, and you want to disguise the age of the car. So say the classic case in point for me, say take like an Aston Martin DB9, right? They made them from like 2003 all the way to like 2012, easy. It had a good long year production run. Now, you could pick one of them up for like 30k, the early ones, right? And if you want people to know that you've got an Aston, but you don't want them to know how old it is, I put a private number plate on it, because to the untrained eye, somebody from the street wouldn't be able to tell whether that's a 2003 car or a 2012. All right, don't get me wrong, there's some subtle changes here and there, but I think that's the reason I would get one, to disguise the age. If you can get a cheap number plate, I think I'm all for that, but I wouldn't go and pay millions or some people do spend a lot of money on private number plates. That's my personal view.
So you want to buy a private number plate to lie to people?
Not really lie, I just want them to hide away the fact that I'm not so minted as I make out to be if I'm buying a 30 grand Aston. Because if you buy a 30 grand Aston, you know...
But why don't you then just keep your private number, just keep your normal number plate, and then they don't think that you're that rich?
Yeah, I know, but
you've got a 2000.
I think it's quite a clever way of doing it.
I think that's an awful thing to do.
Well,
because you're lying.
It's not really lying, though. I'm not saying that it's an age that it's not. People.
Well, you're not telling the truth, though, right?
Well, I'm not explicitly lying. Anyway, this is not the point that I'm trying to make. We're on about private number plates. That's the reason why I would get one personally. But that's the only reason. I'm not really into... I mean, my name is bloody long as it is, so I don't think that you can really get that on the number plate.
No,
you can get my initials.
You probably could, because there's probably no one that has a surname of Yadigigami.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you want, look me up. Look my surname up.
Yeah, there
it's
we
very
go.
long. Right, so...
Oh, just found out there was a hyphen in your surname, didn't I?
There is a hyphen in my surname.
For how many years now?
Over 2 decades. So
yeah,
yes, a long time. So, right, so what have we got then, Matt?
Okay,
on the screen, you can see behind us. If you're listening to this on audio, we will obviously spell out what the number plate says. But for those of you watching in real time, have a look.
So, first number plate, right? So I call this section the acceptable number plates, okay? Because they are exactly what it says. They're acceptable. Like I don't really care too much. I look at it and go, all right, yeah, that makes sense. That private number plate. But anyway, here we go.
I had no saying in this compilation of photos, so I'm seeing this for the first time.
So for example, this is a good number plate. And the reason this is a good number plate is because if you know the person who has this number plate, you know it spells. Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
You know it spells their name.
Yeah. This belongs to a friend of ours.
Exactly, and I'm sure other people are watching this, or even him. Is probably.
So, he might see it. So his name is Toko, but it's spelt with an M, Matoko. So it does kind of spell that.
Hang on, you've done it misjustice.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can explain.
Because he has a T in his name, but he's got an African name. You should have just said. You shouldn't have even said his name.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, so the next one is this, right?
Now, this is a good one.
So you really like this one.
I do, yes.
I personally think so I don't mind people who do this, okay? I would also do this if I had the money, but I think an M3 number plate is actually quite expensive now. I believe it's pretty expensive to get an M3 number plate. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're ridiculously expensive, but they're probably a few £1,000s. Anyway, so this is obviously
a BMW M3 E46.
E46, yeah, correct. So yeah, and that is, I assume that those 3 letters are his initials.
I would hope so.
Or her initials.
Yes.
Or their initials, depending on how they classify themselves. So anyway, there we go. So
this is a great number plate, and this was actually taken locally to where we are currently situated. So that's a nice number plate. I like that.
Okay, so I would say that's acceptable for me personally. Right then, so now the next section we have is shite number plates. Okay, utterly shite number plates. Okay, and I'm sorry if I'm going to show one of your number plates and you watch this and this is one of your number plates. I do apologise, but I'm sorry. It pains me to see this when I drive. Okay. To be stuck behind you with a number plate that it just... I have no words to describe how bad it is, right? It's that bad. Anyway, so, right, first shite number plate, okay? Now, this is a Mercedes ML55, right, AMG, okay? Now, as you can see from the number plate, right, it says M55 AWG.
He hasn't really got the point, has he?
No. No. It's almost like saying, I have money to buy a private number plate and a semi-decent car, because I assume he or she bought this in the time when it was probably an expensive car, potentially. But I didn't quite have enough money to get a number plate for this car.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of winging it here.
Because it's not true, is it? I mean, because first of all, it's an ML55, not an M55, because Mercedes has never made an M55 as far as I'm aware. And it's not even AMG, it's AWG. So, I mean...
Don't even try, that's the thing.
We, as car enthusiasts, obviously can see what he's doing. I mean, it's quite clear as well, even if you're not a car enthusiast, because it does say ML55 on the top left and AMG on the top right.
I was going to say, so you can get these cars without these badges, right? Okay, I believe you can. And you'd almost be like, oh, okay, yeah, someone doesn't know their cars. Oh yeah, that's an AWG, right? So if you're an utter bellend, then you probably would actually most likely, not even batter an eyelid at it. But the fact is, even people who don't know their cars would actually see that this is not correct. Because the weirdest thing is, you've even got these associated on each side.
Yeah.
Right, to the badges. So there's
So really, I mean,
this isn't acceptable at all.
No, it isn't. I mean, if it was a debadged car, then maybe slightly more acceptable. But still not really acceptable.
No.
Okay, so that's...
You can tell how passionate I am about this subject.
He's extremely passionate about this subject.
Because it actually infuriates me so much. I think they're doing a disservice to cars, and this should be banned. Anyway, the next one is this. I don't know if you can see this too well. I'm just trying to have a look. But this is a BMW X5. Okay. Now, yet again, we have a completely shite number plate. That is X55. BMV. Now I'm not sure what's worse. What was the one before?
BMV or ML
or
AWG.
I'm not really sure which one's worse.
I mean, they're both wrong, so they're both as bad as each other.
Yeah, potentially, but I'm not sure. If it was life or death, I had to have one or the other.
I would say the AWG is worse because the BMV, I mean, they're both not bad. I mean, if you look at it, actually, I've just figured something out. The V is like halfway to W. If you put another V attached to that...
So you're telling me if I grabbed a black Sharpie
Yeah.
and I finished it off, then that's acceptable?
I mean...
It's illegal,
Yeah.
but
But,
acceptable.
but also, if you go back to the other image,
You don't have the badges either, do you?
No, you don't. But if you switch the W and turned it the other way around, that would be an M. So they're both wrong, and I don't agree with any of them, and really they should have just bought one that had the correct spelling, or not bought one at all. But this one I think is actually worse because it has the badges, whereas the other one, if you go back, no, it still has the badges. So yeah, they're both rubbish. I mean, you know it's a BMW from the badge. It doesn't say it says the model name. It's not tuned or anything. And also, I'd just like to point out, I think I've spotted a trend here. So far from the two shite number plates we've seen, we've noticed that they've both been on big sports utility vehicles, and people who drive them are, they're not, well, I'm not going to comment on that right now, but they're a particular type of person who drives that sort of vehicle, you know, drug dealers. But yes, so...
Anyway, so, again, I do apologise if these are your number plates, but I couldn't hold it in any longer.
I mean, if you do have any views...
if any of you can find shiter number plates than this,
please comment below.
Please send them in.
Yes.
I honestly,
DM them.
I'll do this every week, alright? Just to show off the amount of shite number plates that are out there.
This could be a special feature.
It could, there you go, it could be my thing. Anyway, so these are, I just class these as absolutely brilliant number plates, okay? These are fantastic number plates. First one is V8, oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't want a number plate like that?
I mean, it is...
Straight to the point.
It's straight to the point.
It's exactly what it is.
It's true. It's true, because that car is, if you can't see it very well from the image, it's a BMW M3. I can't remember the code name for it now, but it's the one after the E46, which did have a V8. And everyone who has a V8, they're obviously at some point of their ownership are going to go, ooh, yeah. Because it's a V8, it's got a nice grumble.
Sorry, I missed that. What was that? They would go,
ooh, yeah. Or, as this sort of says more specifically, it's ooh, ye. But you kind of get it. But you you'd watch this. So
yeah.
I think that's cool.
That's a brilliant number plate. Right? Let's write the next brilliant number plate. Right, obviously one of my favourites. Right,
yeah.
it is straight to the point, and even suits the person who would buy this kind of car.
Yes, if you buy a C class C200 CDI, you're probably that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think we need to explain that one.
No, we don't.
Basically, yeah.
And if you do own a C class, then maybe write into us and tell us what your number plate is for it.
And
it might be
if it's in that white colour as well, then I feel like, Anyway, the only acceptable white colour of Mercedes should be a C63. That's about it.
If you've got...
Well, actually, I think I've got one of those in here, actually.
Oh, no, I haven't got one. I haven't got one.
I think I've got one in there, actually.
No.
Right, this one, because this is also very... This made me laugh. This is very, very good. Again, spells something completely different to what it actually looks like.
Yes.
But you get the point here. I'm not going to spell it out, but...
yes. And also, interesting, I mean, I know it doesn't look like an M... It's definitely not an M3, but again, it's a BMW 3 Series E46 Coupe. So we're spotting again a trend. It seems to be quite a lot of common things with common cars have this number plate.
If you're listening to the audio version of this, by the way, it spells out FIJKU space U. Yeah. Now, if you write that down on a bit of paper,
I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, you'll be able to figure out what it actually says.
But we won't say it because it's PG. It's a PG environment.
Oh right, okay.
Well.
Right. So. so I class this as the twat section of the number plates, okay? So, the reason I call this the twat, well, this is really self-explanatory, this part, I promise you, right? Ready?
Right.
Okay, who in God's name would get a 67 reg, right, as a number plate?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't really make much sense, because what is he saying? Is he literally saying what it spells out, which is, he's got a 67 plate car, which you can normally tell from your normal number plate, it's a 67 plate, because it says 2 letters and then 67. Or is he one of the other people from the earlier slides who wanted the C63, because it's C63S for those who are listening on audio, AMG Mercedes, but couldn't find one, so decided to go with 67 reg. I don't know.
But this is the. So, what's the point? Just keep your normal reg, right?
I know. It is
just keep your
It
normal
is
reg.
disappointing. Do you know what else is? I know this isn't necessarily related to the number plate argument, but what's really disappointing I'm seeing with new cars right now. See these exhausts right here, right? These are fake. These are just part of the. These are just part of the bumper. If you look through, they're just normal tailpipes behind them. You see that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Round tailpipe.
Oh, I can see.
And Mercedes, they do this a lot on their cars, and I think it just.
See,
It's not
dishonesty
true.
again.
It's dishonesty. Yes.
Yeah.
Not only did you buy a crap number plate, but
You bought so you're being dishonest. Most likely with your number plate, it's probably not a 67 reg. It's probably an 02. Obviously, it's not, but you get one thing. And you know you got fake
exhaust pipes. Yeah.
disgraceful.
I mean,
Disgraceful behaviour. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, the next one. Now,
Now
this is one of actually probably my favourite cars. Okay, because they're fantastic.
Yes, they
And we were
are
having a
great.
conversation earlier on about
We were.
how they have a very distinctive
Soundtrack
sound.
noise.
Yes, they're beautiful. And it's like a lovely grumble, and you know them from when you can hear it. You can hear them. You can turn around and you know that's going to be a C6.
And as well as that, proper exhaust pipes.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you look at them. Yeah, they're pretty true. I'm pretty sure that's a proper exhaust. I'm telling you now because I have. But so, are we saying this is good or bad? Because I actually quite like it.
So, I really dislike this. Right?
Why is that?
Because it's the same sort of thing. You've basically said, "Oh, I've got enough money to get a C63, but I haven't quite got enough money to actually get the number plate I want." And the reason I dislike this so much is because this is one of my favourite cars, right? And I just hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Is it because of the extra C at the beginning?
that's all it had to. But I think this is mainly because it's one of my favourite cars. So this one's personally hurt
This
me
is
a lot.
personal to him.
Yeah, this is very personal to me.
Right.
So again,
CC63. Yeah. I mean,
it sounds like you got a stutter.
yeah. I mean, but maybe he's trying to say C. I've got a C63. Yeah. Although it doesn't say it on the number plate. Granted.
It's a C63.
But I don't think. Okay, I admit it's not great, but it could have been worse. At least it wasn't a different letter at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? At least it's not like an S or a T, like TC63.
Yeah.
At least he's gone with the CC. Okay, it sounds like he's got a stutter, which he probably would do driving a car like that afterwards because scared the shit out of you. But yes.
Yes.
I don't think, me personally, I mean, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of personalised number plates, but I don't think that's awful, but I think obviously you've got a personal relationship with this car, and I do like the C63.
It's about one of the only Mercedes I think I would actually buy and not feel like I was a complete cock.
Well, you see, therefore I disagree though, because I think if you drive a car like that, you are definitely a cock, but in a good way, in the sense of...
Yeah, but you know your cars though, I feel, right? There's two situations here. You've either got a shit ton of money. Can you beat that out?
Yes.
Yeah. As you do you know?
Yeah, we can beat that out.
Yeah, thanks. Or you actually know your cars and you really want an enjoyable car to drive.
Yeah.
I mean, they're what 6.3 litre. They're mental.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit that's why I like the C63 thing because 6.3, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is then the latest.
Yes.
C63
is a 4 litre.
So it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Mercedes just want to lie to you.
Technically speaking, if you're going to be pedantic though, doesn't actually have a 6.3. It's actually a 6.2.
Yeah, but
so
we round it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, but this isn't even the new one. Isn't even the same county. It's not like it's two anyway. But car makers, it's BMW did the same thing. We won't go into that now because we're probably going to be there for like half an hour. Oh, it's a bit windy outside. So C63, yeah, it's a no-go, or a CC63.
Yes, it's a C.
Exactly, pointing out.
Now, this one is exceptionally self-explanatory.
Yes.
Would
you like to spell it out for the people not watching?
I'm not really sure I want to, because I find this one exceptionally offensive. But, I mean, again, it does spell out a
see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
Except not quite spelt that way, but it essentially says that
yes.
for those of you who are listening.
Okay, so number plate, this is my favourite section, okay?
Right.
So I know that I personally wouldn't be able to have the money. That's a lie. I wouldn't be able to bring myself to spend thousands of pounds ever on a private number plate, unless I had lots and lots and lots of money. Okay, but if I had the money to get a number plate, it would probably be something that makes people laugh.
Right. Okay.
Right, as I drive by, as I explained earlier on. So here's some funny ones. Right.
So yes, this is on a Lamborghini Gallardo, early one by the looks of things, and it spells for the viewers that are listening UT02SER. If you write that down, that spells Utosser, which I think is quite funny. I quite like that.
That
actually.
would definitely make me laugh out loud in public.
Absolutely. So that's good. Okay, so that's your first of your favourite. Ah, right.
No, this one, I'm not sure I actually like it. I just thought it'd be exceptionally funny if you saw it driving past, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't think it quite suits the car. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
I definitely agree.
It's not really a Jag kind of.
No, it's not. It's not. But that's probably why I like it as well.
Yeah, because it's so unexpected.
Exactly.
Because if that was on like your Vauxhall Astra VXR, you kind of think, yeah, he's. Yeah. Well, for those of you who are listening, it spells CUM80Y or 80Y, should I say?
Okay. Next one. I like this one.
Ah,
To be or not to be?
right.
No,
yes.
that is the question.
Yes. So this guy has got his collection here, his Aston Martin Vanquish and his Bentley Enage.
I would love to know how much that number plate actually is, by the way.
Probably quite a bit of money.
Just three characters. That's pretty.
To be or not to be? I quite like that, and the fact that he's got them on both his vehicles, it makes a sense. The only thing is, I think as a result of what he's done, I keep saying he or she, if they are driving this car, they're going to need either their partner or a friend to drive the other car behind them, so it makes sense to people, because I would want people to see both those number plates at the same time. I know that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because to be is a bit meaningless, isn't it? To be, and everyone goes, or not to be.
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
But to make sense, but to get the full effect, you need the Bentley behind
Yeah,
you.
but how many people are going to see that and go, to be? And not to be.
Well.
And how many people are going to go, not to be? And they go, to be. And not to be.
Yeah, but if you, anyway, it would be vastly impractical, but if you can afford this number plate, you can definitely afford to pay somebody to drive the Bentley behind you, or the Aston in front of you, whichever one you want to drive. So
virtually everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Want to go to the shops? Yes, fine. Take two cars.
Yeah, that's
fine.
Again, I like that because I feel like if you were to see one of those, then it would, it makes you think. It's better than whatever those other crappy ones were earlier on.
Yes.
Anyway, next one. So.
Yes,
boss.
Yes, boss. So this is a Porsche Cayenne, for those of you who are not watching on video, a white one, and it does say yes, boss.
I don't actually know where this is, by the way, but
I think looking at it, it looks foreign.
It does look foreign, doesn't it? It looks like it's a car.
But the thing is, though,
this is a right-hand drive as well.
Is it? Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, but I
can't tell. Behind that used to be my mum's car. It's a Mazda 323, but you can't really tell from the other number plates.
No.
So, but besides the point, no matter where it is, yes, boss man or woman, boss woman. I mean, yeah, that is a very yes, boss type of vehicle, so it suits it quite well. So they've chosen wisely. I quite like that.
So what? How much do you want to bet that he is a boss or she is a boss?
Or
they are a boss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they must be a boss in some way.
Exactly.
So yes, Porsche Cayenne, we rate that. I don't rate the car, but I rate the number plate.
Don't like the car?
Don't like the Porsche Cayenne. No, the front of it is hideous. I much prefer the smaller Macan.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's me.
I don't think you've seen that one yet.
Right, so okay, I think this is funny. I also think I think it's quite interesting when you look at these number plates, what car they put onto as well.
Yeah.
Why on earth is somebody, for those of you who are listening on the audio, would have the number plate, I'll spell it out for you, MOI5SST, aka Moist, on your Hyundai Tucson, or Tuscan as I sometimes call it, all-wheel drive. I don't know, I mean, are you saying that you're moist, or other people around you are moist? or you'll be getting moist
Yeah, but
when you get in that car.
so this is the questions that you'd ask yourself when you see this, right?
Yes.
So again, you'd laugh,
Yes.
it'd make you think,
Yes.
okay, and you'd enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're having a bad day, you see someone's got a moist number plate.
Yeah.
I think personally, who cares what car it's on?
Well,
I applaud them for getting it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is clearly. I mean, I don't know. I wonder that's probably quite a reasonably priced number plate.
Yeah, I think that's probably not too bad.
Probably on the more affordable end. Okay, so fair enough. Moist. Is there any more? Ah.
Yes. Yes. One of my personal favourites.
Yes, one of mine actually as well. So this is on a Corvette C7, I believe. I can't if I remember. I'm not very familiar with my Corvettes, but well, I mean, it kind of says what it does on the tip. Now, I know the image quality isn't great, and for those of you who can't really see it, but it spells TE51CLE, aka testicles or testicle, should I say? And the guy or woman has put some testicles. I'm guessing. And I don't want to sound sexist. I'm guessing this is a bloke who owns this car, because blokes tend to be,
or some type of person who's a bit of a geezer.
Yeah, a bit of a geezer, wants to flap his
Balls everywhere.
quite literally, and I mean it's quite in keeping with the car as well. You know, Corvette is quite it's a muscle car at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, I've got testicles and so like that. So I think that's funny. I quite like it actually.
I think that's probably definitely one of the ones.
But if you're going to be really pedantic, really should get rid of the balls because you said testicle rather than testicles.
Oh yeah.
So really,
cut one off,
or add an S at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point. Fair point.
So
it's Sharpie again.
Yeah, a bit Sharpie.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. So the last one, which is my personal favourite. No, this is an American number plate.
Yes.
Now, if you don't understand why this is a very important number plate, and it's a very clever number plate, and it's a perfect number plate, then I have no words for you.
Well, no, we've got to explain it to the viewer. So, just in case you can't actually see this is a DeLorean, which featured in the film called Back to the Future. A very famous film. If you haven't seen it, I'd really recommend go watch it.
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. And obviously, as the name suggests, Back to the Future, we travel through time, etc., and it spells timeless on it, and literally spells it as you see it. And like Matt says, this is United States, North Carolina, I believe. So yeah, I think that is a very. I wouldn't necessarily laugh at that, but I think that is a good number plate. That's a clever number plate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you know how much I love Back.
You do love Back to the Future. I mean, I like that. I also love the DeLorean, even though it was a terrible car, but I mean, it looks great.
Exactly. Anyone who has a DeLorean for me, they're already a friend.
Yeah. I mean, fair play. I mean, I'd agree. I mean, people who have DeLoreans.
Can I ask you a question, right?
Yes.
Would you rather have a journey in a DeLorean, right? That the interior is made completely like the DeLorean in Back to the Future, or a Ferrari of your choice? No, you don't get to drive it.
Oh, okay. Driving it.
You don't get to drive it.
Probably a DeLorean. I'd probably go DeLorean, to be fair, because I mean, how many of them do you ever see? Very rare.
Yeah.
Because actually, saw one a couple of years ago around the area actually, and it was kitted up like Back to the Future style, and that looked really, really cool.
I think they've got one of the original ones in the Universal Studios.
Have they?
Right.
Which fun fact, if you've ever been or are planning to go, well, probably not in a pandemic, but yes.
There you go.
Well, so that's the final one, did you say?
That's my final one.
Well, I mean, it's been a blast, really, and in the interest of keeping these in sort of relatively bite-sized chunks, that kind of concludes today's web podcast, whatever you want.
Again,
go on.
Important here. If you find any shite number plates, please send them in.
Yes.
All right, please send them in.
Send them. Yeah. I mean, I'll put a link to things, Instagram, you name it. And if you enjoyed this video / enjoyed listening to this podcast, then please like, comment, subscribe, and we can deliver more. We're actually planning on doing more, but we're going to keep these to bite-sized chunks. Today was specifically about number plates, and we'll do another topic in due course. Well, and if you haven't noticed, this is the revamped shed from last time, because last time you saw it, it didn't even have any paint on it, and obviously didn't have a TV. So if people like this feature, then maybe we can keep it going forward as well. So yes, I think that's it really. Stay safe, stay well, and yeah, enjoy, and send us your funny number plates if you have any.